Now we come to that topic of rational scientific revolution and enlightenment. So which one would you like to write first and second one? पहला लिख दो, सिंपल वाला है, ठीक है. Enlightenment extended the intellectual framework provided by the scientific revolution. Explain. तो explain करना है, critical angle तक नहीं जाना है. Okay. How would you introduce this question? Aditya is saying introduction ही नहीं start कर पा रहा हूँ. एक definition याद है, उसको ही सारे में लगा दूं क्या? How to modify the definition in introduction? Aditya, it's a very standard problem. Starting trouble. आप में से भी आधों को आया होगा कि कैसे इंट्रोड्यूस करूं. इट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, लेट अस एक्सप्लेन. अंडरस्टैंड. देखो, व्हेन आई से एक्सप्लेन द कीवर्ड, वो तब पॉसिबल होता है एंड तब वो अप्रोप्रिएट होता है व्हेन यू हैव वन कीवर्ड. बट इन दिस क्वेश्चन नाउ यू हैव टू कीवर्ड्स. वन इज एनलाइटनमेंट एंड अदर इज साइंटिफिक रिवॉल्यूशन. जब आपके पास दो दो कीवर्ड्स आ जाते हैं, देन इट इज अ जजमेंट कॉल. विच कीवर्ड इज अ प्राइमरी कीवर्ड? जो आपको जिस तरह आर्ग्यूमेंट देना हो बॉडी में, उसमें जो प्राइमरी कीवर्ड हो, that becomes the starting point. So some of you may choose enlightenment as the topic and explain it. Some of you may choose otherwise. For me, it is scientific revolution. That is the basic keyword. I want to start with that. ये होगा एक judgment call. There is a third kind of thing. The question is neither about enlightenment per se nor about scientific revolution. It's about the relationship between the two. So अगर वो है दो keywords के बीच का जो आंतरिक संबंध है, the internal relationship between the two keywords, if that is the point that is being discussed here, why not to use that as an introduction? If you do that, that is hitting the bullseye. अब कैसे करोगे बताइए, रिलेशनशिप पे तो क्या बताओगे? Perfect, perfect. So that is also what I had in mind. You first explain in one line what was the final idea of scientific revolution, that they developed some principles of studying nature around them, and those principles were extended by enlightenment thinkers to other part of life, other aspects of life. बस उन्होंने भी चैलेंज किया अथॉरिटी को, उन्होंने भी किया. बट इट्स नॉट अबाउट चैलेंजिंग द अथॉरिटी, इट्स अबाउट जो आपने एक जगह आइडियाज बनाए वो सब जगह अप्लाई हो रहे हैं. दैट इज द मेन वन. न्यूटन हो, केपलर हो, टाइको ब्राहे हो, यू ऑल दिस पीपल, गैलीलियो हो, दे डेवलप्ड. उन्होंने, देखो, उनके दो कंट्रीब्यूशन है साइंटिफिक रिवोल्यूशन, साइंटिफिक साइंटिस्ट के 17th सेंचुरी के. नंबर वन, they reached some conclusions which were unsettling to traditional dogma. जैसे कि it is not the earth which is center of the world, it is heliocentric model. तो बाइबल में गलत लिखा है. ओके, टॉलेमी में गलत कहा था, बाइबल ने भी गलत कहा था, मान लिया. बट द कंक्लूजन दैट दिस पीपल रीच्ड आर एक्चुअली लेस अनसेटलिंग. More profound unsettlement came not from the conclusions of scientists, but from the methods they used to reach those conclusions. वो जो methods है, rationality, mathematics, empiricism वगैरह, और जो कुछ उनके natural law के concept, so those methods found wider application beyond the domain of science in every domain. That led to major transformation. So ये तो, but we can't explain all of that in this introduction. So, but idea is that, as you correctly said, you explain in one line the contribution of scientific revolution, and then explain the other line how it was carried forward by Enlightenment thinkers. So this intro will be of two lines. Clear? Aditya, I hope it is clear. And then you have in the main body two parts. In the first part, you talk about the outcome of scientific thinkers. In the second part, you again go to the same part कि apply करो एक एक करके क्या क्या हुआ in politics, in society, in economy वगैरह, कहाँ कहाँ principle लगा है. But that kind of structure, where in the first part of the body you explain the scientific revolution का outcome, in second part of the body you explain how those outcomes were applied in different fields by thinkers of enlightenment, politics, social वगैरह वगैरह, वो थोड़ा सा मजा नहीं आता उसमें, little old school. वो करोगे तो भी ठीक है, it will fetch you good marks, no doubt, but हमें थोड़ा सा कुछ करना है. So let us try to come up with another structure. तो मैंने यहाँ पे आपको ऐसे दोनों दिए हुए हैं, but I will discuss the second one more. The first structure simple है. Scientific revolution created new ways of thinking about natural world by challenging traditional authority, and these principles were extended by the philosophers of enlightenment to the human world to create better society. Very simple. But now you go to structure 1. What was the outcome of revolution? वहाँ पे rationalism है, empiricism है, वगैरह वगैरह. And Enlightenment applied those principles. तो हमने जो question number 1 लिखा था, उसमें शुरू में core ideas of Enlightenment, most of them are the outcome of scientific revolution. तो ये वही question घुमा फिरा के पूछा है. Which core ideas came from SR and now how they're applying to Enlightenment era. बस. But this is not a very interesting structure, तो हमने थोड़ा सा इसको technically modify कर दिया है. But the better suited structure, more analytical, is the second one. We'll go not domain by domain, but we shall go the argument by argument, analysis by analysis, dimension by dimension. वो क्या है? Not political, social, economic, but let us go every aspect of SR and how it is applied to Enlightenment. The first thing is reason and observation. So these are the ideas कि by rationality भी है, empiricism भी है. And this was continued by thinkers to the other. Bacon, inductive study, Descartes, inductive study, where laid the groundwork of the scientific method. Montesquieu and Rousseau applied these principles to study different aspects of human life, like society, religion, etc. वही है inductive directive study. जैसे Montesquieu का लिखता है spirit of laws. क्या है spirit of laws? He is trying to say that laws are not given by God. They're conditioned in society. And if you apply reason to them, you can improve them. They are not immutable. The second thing is natural laws. The discovery by scientific thinkers कि भाई there are some natural laws according to which entire world works. वो governing laws है दुनिया के. Gravity, for example, m1 m2 by r square, है ना? ये तो natural law, it cannot change. If that is true, are there such similar laws that are applicable to other aspects of life also? Society में, politics में, economy में, religion में. Let us find laws there. That is what they did. In case of economy, नए नए कानून, इकोनॉमी के रूल्स क्यों आते हैं? उसको नेचुरल लॉ ही बोलते हैं लोग कि भाई लॉ ऑफ डिमांड एंड सप्लाई, लॉ ऑफ आयरन वेजेस, आयरन लॉ ऑफ वेजेस. ये क्या है? क्यों लॉ? क्यों लॉ? हम चाहे तो चेंज कर रहे हैं उसको ना. नेचुरल लॉज है ये. इट्स साइंटिफिक थिंकिंग. यू कैन स्टडी सोशल साइंसेस. सोशल साइंस का बर्थ होता है एनलाइटनमेंट. इन द 18th सेंचुरी यू हैव इकोनॉमिक्स, 19th सेंचुरी सोशियोलॉजी एंड एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, वेबर वगैरह बात. वो इसका बेसिक ये है. Then Newton discovered law of gravity that controls the motion of objects. Similarly, Adam Smith proposed laws related to functioning of markets. Simple. Natural law apply करने. तीसरी बात आती है worldly interest. We are no more interested like in the medieval time in celestial objects. Heaven में क्या है? भगवान का क्या है? Paradise क्या है? नहीं चाहिए हमें. अभी के अभी, इधर के इधर. हमें इस लाइफ की बात करें, not that life. So our focus of interest, our focus of analysis is this world, not that world. So the increased materialism during scientific revolution led new innovations, technologies like telescope for betterment of human life. Similarly, enlightenment led to new forms of government, new forms of economic system, new ways of education, email में, free trade में, capitalism में, democracy में, to better life here and now in this world. Simple. Fourthly, we have secularization. As more and more study was done, natural laws were discovered. हमें पता चला कि भगवान का रोल है ही नहीं. Right? The most famous example is the Lisbon earthquake of 1770. लिस्बन earthquake जब आता है तो पहली बार कि भगवान का प्रकोप है या इसके पीछे कोई साइंटिफिक कारण है. तो मेडिसिन, एपिडेमिक्स, ये सब भाई, these things are not भगवान का प्रकोप. ये नहीं कि गांधी जी ने कहा कि भाई हमने बहुत अनटचेबिलिटी करी है तो बिहार में भूकंप आ गया ना. That is not enlightenment, exactly opposite of that. It is science. So the very idea is that the more science progresses, the role of God and religion decreases, retracts. Similarly, ये सब जगह होने लगा फिर, not only in nature but everywhere. So Voltaire advocated criticism of religious dogma for that कि भाई समाज से भी धर्म को हटाओ, पॉलिटिक्स से हटाओ, आर्मी से हटाओ, मेडिसिन से हटाओ, भाई only from physics and chemistry and biology, सब जगह से हटाओ. So secularization process. And then audience. Important बात ये है that scientific thinkers did not keep their ideas to themselves. They published the journals. They became part of societies. They discussed and debated. Knowledge spread होता है. They're writing books. The same thing is being done by the thinkers of enlightenment, the philosophers who want to explain the ideas to public. So they are using this public sphere to spread the ideas. तो ये भी उसी का extension है. So you have example of encyclopedia in French, encyclopedia in English. Thus, it was the gradual shift from Renaissance to scientific revolution to enlightenment that's helped in the emergence of the modern world. अगर एक चलो एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं टेम्पररी जस्ट फॉर अ मोमेंट, इस क्वेश्चन को तब्दील करते हैं और हम उसको करते हैं नॉट एक्सप्लेन बट क्रिटिकली एनालाइज. इफ यू डू दैट, then what happens? You have to add second part in the body. To what extent enlightenment was not the extension of scientific revolution. में फर्क था, तो उसमें आप क्या लिखोगे? कैन यू थिंक ऑफ इट कि कौन सी चीजें ऐसी थी एनलाइटनमेंट में जो यहाँ से नहीं आई थी? या दैट इज नॉट एनलाइटनमेंट. रोमांटिसिज्म इज एंटी एनलाइटनमेंट. वो एनलाइटनमेंट जो खत्म होती है तब आती है उसके खिलाफ, दैट इज रोमांटिसिज्म. बट एक बात सही है, रूसो स्टैंड्स एट द जंक्चर ऑफ बोथ. सो वन थिंग यू कैन से, enlightenment is not only about reason but also about emotion. Yeah, it is not just a triumph of reason,